Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, Nick the Gardener. If you're new, welcome to the channel, or if you've been here for a little while, thanks for tuning in again. So almost in July already, don't know where the year's going, but yeah, I just thought I'd give end of June plot tour at the allotment, see how things are going on. So I was starting off at the compost today, which is the most important part of the allotment really. Need to try and make enough compost throughout the year so I can give it a couple of layers really. I normally do one layer in sort of November time, October, just before it starts to get cold, before the frosts, try and insulate the soil a bit. I mean, I normally try and put another layer out, you know, sort of May, June time, something like that. Just as I'm putting the plants out, I like to give them a bit of compost around them, but I wasn't able to do that this year. So the crops have struggled a bit more. We've got a bit more pest pressure for flea beetles and whitefly and stuff like that. Generally, if I put 2 layers down, it's not quite so bad. But yeah, this year I'm struggling a little bit. Although, to be fair, I've had the best cauliflower and broccoli I've had from the site so far. So yeah, there's ups and downs really. I mean, the heat's making some things bolt, but it's also making a lot of things grow really well. So yeah, hopefully today I might be able to get in there and sift a little bit out to take home. I only need like half a bag full, something like that, of compost. But I haven't been able to add that much grass through it. I collected so many leaves during last autumn and put them all in there. I did add a few coffee grounds and stuff like that, but not much grass really. So, you know, I didn't get the heat into it, it just kind of sat there. So this year I've been trying to mix grass through with it and stuff. But like I say, I've had a bad elbow since October and I haven't been able to get in there and turn it as often as I'd like. So this year's been a bit of a disaster for compost really, but now my arm's feeling a lot better, my back's feeling a bit better. Hopefully I should be able to start getting in there and turning it, collecting some more leaves and grass and stuff. Well, grass this time of year. So this bin down here is the leaf mould bin, but it has got a little bit of compost on top. And this compost bay down here, it's just got a bit of comfrey in the bottom and a bit of grass clippings and stuff, nothing much really yet. This bit here is to hold this up because it's all started rotting away, unfortunately. So I watched Mark, I think it's plot 21B, he's just done his compost bins, and he's got some of that sort of plasticky stuff what Tony O'Neill's got on his, so I might go down Wicks's and get some of that. But first I'll probably need to dismantle a lot of this compost bin, because it's all started to rot away now. And I don't know, I mean, because I'm not collecting so much compost, get away wasp. Oh, that's all right, it's gone. I might not need 2. And also I'm thinking about I might take some Daleks home with me. But anyway, I'm just going to have a little, show you the compost, see how many worms and stuff we've got in it. And let's have a look to see if it is actually worth trying to sieve any of this, because there's still loads of twigs and everything. There's not that many worms in it actually. They've probably dived down. Oh, there's some worms. Look, I was going to say it was so hot yesterday, they probably died down a bit. But yeah, there's plenty of red wriggler worms in there, which will help compost it down. And once I've taken about a foot off the top of that, there might be some compost in there to sieve. Like I say, compost mega important on this site because it's like a sandy, silty kind of soil, so it doesn't hold on to nutrients that long. So I'm always adding organic matter to try and improve the soil. So like I say, in this one here, this is where most of my leaves are. There's a layer of cardboard in between the compost and the leaves, so you don't get them too muddled up. In here is where I put a lot of the leaf mould, well, the leaves to make leaf mould. But like I say, once I've emptied a bit of that compost, this compost what's in here will go back into that one, and then the leaf mould what's at the bottom, I'll stick a bit more in here. This is my big giant worm farm, which I haven't showed anyone yet this year. I did refill it maybe a month or so ago, just with the contents. Oh, there's a big leopard slug there. Just with the contents from the worm bin from my old at my old house. And to be honest, it's not too bad of stuff, but the worms are probably going to be quite deep because it's been quite hot, like I say. There's still a load of old bits of scraps. There's even a bone in there, look. Eggshells and stuff. There's a bit of plastic there. I'll perhaps have to get that out at some point. I've got a bin here. I'll leave that to the side for a minute. But yeah, so the reason why I'm making all my compost, leaf mould and worm castings is because this year I had so much success with my homemade compost mix that yeah, it's a no-brainer really. I don't have to buy compost or any, you know, starting mixes or anything. I just make my own. Also on this, because it's got like a little bung in it connected to a bottle, when it rains I get a bit of leachate in there, which is free fertiliser. That's an absolute bonus up here. I normally add that to a J-Darm water barrel, well, fertiliser, which is pretty good stuff actually. It doesn't smell at the moment because I haven't really added any more material to it for over a year. This was a compost bin which I'm thinking about taking home, a Dalek, just so that I can quickly compost stuff at home rather than having to bring it all the way down here. And also when I get grass clippings, a lot of the time I just have to leave it in a bag and it ends up going anaerobic. So I'd like a little place to stick some compost at home, and that'll help free up a bit of space here. Like I say, I'm thinking about going down a compost bay, so I've only got 2. So I could actually probably squeeze in another bed around here. Strawberry bed has been a complete disaster this year. Has hardly rained at all since I put the strawberries in, and the only thing that has wanted to grow are weeds really. So I'm going to have to start again. Luckily I've still got some plants in the wood chips and stuff. There's still a few around here. So I'll transplant them out sometime in the winter when it's going to be wet and put them back in the strawberry bed here. Got an in-ground worm bin just here, and that shrunk quite a bit. I'll probably have to fill that up with some more stuff. Let's have a little look, see what's going on. Plenty of wood lice in there and that. But there's a few worms actually, but it's looking like we're making some nice worm castings in there. But yeah, plenty of weeds, not happy with it. I haven't had one strawberry. So hopefully the raspberries might do a bit better, but they're not looking that great to be fair. These ones over here, I just don't think there's been enough water for them here this year. But these ones are looking quite green here. There's not a lot of fruit on these ones. Okay, so this container here is where I normally grow my single seed potatoes. I've got 3 of these containers in total. There's 1 there, 2 more here. And I'm thinking about emptying that one there into this one and topping a bit more of that other one up over there, wiggle finger, man the moot. Just because I haven't got enough to fill them all, but I want to top the level of soil up. So I'm going to dig that one out into here, and I'll have probably, you know, roughly 6 potato cuttings in each container, which should give them enough space to grow, and it means I haven't got to come up here and water them so much. The apple tree, little rust here. A lot of the apples seem to have split, unfortunately, so I'll probably end up picking a lot of those off and leaving the ones that haven't split. Rhubarb, gone mental. Perhaps have to pick some of that. This tree looks like it's died because I haven't been up here to water it enough, although every time I've come up here I've watered it. So that's a bit of a shame. Little plum tree. Cherry tree, little dwarf one from Lidl, starting to get swamped by bindweed. And this part of the plot is, you know, part of the plot that I've neglected the most really. Asparagus, didn't really get up here enough to eat it. so it should be really good for next year. I've got plenty of hollyhocks growing in it, and some oh, what's this called? I'll think about it in a minute. Corn cockle, that's it. My flower bed is completely overgrown with grass, and it's a bit embarrassing really, but I'll have to get in there and rescue some plants before I get smothered. Perhaps take some home, but I don't know when I'll get a chance to do that. Got a few red currants. Looks like these are ones left what the blackbird hasn't eaten. Gooseberries. Let's have a look, see if we've got any gooseberries left. Oh, there's a few in there. A few in there actually. That's not too bad. So perhaps have to pick a few of them at some point before the birds get to them all. I've got some comfrey down here as well, which is going to need tidying up. And talking about tidying up, I've got a big pile of crap here which I am going to have to tackle at some point, and even sort out this shed, because I dumped it here about 2 or 3 years ago and I've not really done anything else with it. So back round to the raspberries, and they're all looking a little bit sickly, to be fair. You know, lack of water, I'm thinking really. They all just look poorly and yellow. Half of them have snapped off. It's been quite windy, so that's a bit of a shame really. So this is going to, so this is a broccoli bed. I've already harvested broccoli along here. In the middle doesn't really seem to be doing a lot, and you've got purple sprouting broccoli along this edge. Now I have seen a cabbage white butterfly in there, but I can't see anywhere where they've hatched out and they've started eating the leaves, which is a good sign. This little bed here, this is where I had my garlic, but now I've got multi-sown beetroot, which is definitely doing alright now. I will have to come round, I'll give everything a good watering today. And I've got bush beans on the other side, which are just starting to sort of put flower buds out now, so hopefully it won't be long before I'm harvesting those. Do love beans. Broad beans in this bed, and some onions and phycelia, which the bees are absolutely loving. Yeah, the beans looking a bit poorly now, definitely gone over, but I'll be saving a lot of them for seed for next year. Sorry, for this year, for the green manures. This bed did have quite bad onion white rot on the leeks and stuff, but actually the leeks have started to flower now, so that's a good sign. I've got, I think they're Musselburgh and Leon Prize Taker, but I'm not too sure what variety, which one's which, sorry. Onions for the onion challenge, they're fattening up quite nicely actually. So these haven't been had by the allium leaf miner, but they might have onion white rot. But they don't seem too bad. Generally you can just pull them out if they've got a white rot. These are looking alright so far. Hopefully, touch wood, I'll get some half decent onions, because I had to throw away all my first crop of onions due to the allium leaf miner and the white rot. So this bed's got a couple of snapdragons and a giant Atlantic pumpkin, which I've trimmed a load of grass on. That's alright, it'll be alright. So yeah, that one is actually looking pretty good now. This one hasn't been frosted or anything, so I'm going to look after this one. This is going to hopefully be the best one. So my no-dig potatoes are looking absolutely terrible, to be honest. So they look like we're going over already. We've not been long planted. So ones kind of in the middle look okay, but round the edge cell set lettuce there. Yeah, they're looking really yellow and terrible. I'm surprised about this one here, because this one was protected by the Phycelia and the comfrey, so it didn't really get frosted that much, but it looks like it's been, I don't know, it's damaged. I don't know why, to be honest. I mean, this one looks quite green here, but yeah, I'm not hopeful for this potato harvest. So hopefully I should get some ones at home, and obviously you've got the single seed potato. But I think I can see, yeah, there's some potatoes at the surface here already. So that's not a good sign. So they've already gone green, look. These ones here, can you see them? So, yeah, they've already gone green, so I'll be saving them for seed for next year. Hopefully we've got some half decent potatoes under there, and hopefully the rats haven't found them, because that was the other thing last year. Rats found a lot of them. This down through here is my swede, and I'm hoping it's pulling through now. It's been attacked by a flea beetle and whitefly, and it's a bit manky, but hopefully it's going to pull through. The red calibos on the other side doesn't seem to be that affected, but it's not great really. Like I say, I should have put another layer of compost down around about May time, just before, or just, you know, as I was going to plant these out. Plenty of cabbage white butterflies around as well. Just seen a couple over, well, it's three, just 4 flying around over there. So the sweet corn then, well, 3 or 4 sisters, and I've got sweet corn in the middle, peas and beans around the edge, and courgettes around the edge. I did try one of these patty pans actually the other night in a stir fry. They're a bit weird looking, but it's quite nice. The 8 ball courgettes in there, there's 2 big ones on that side just there, look. They're quite nice roasted actually. Not quite as nice as Romanesco. That's a half decent sized patty pan there. So yeah, did a stir fry the other night. I had both the courgettes in it. I had the cabbage, bit of broccoli, bit of cauliflower, garlic. That was all the stuff I grew. Oh, boiled beans, sorry. I mean, I added some onions and other bits and pieces from the shop. Like I say, hopefully I can grow my own onions. But the sweet corn here is looking alright really. I think the last video I called these tassels. They're not, are they? Oh no, are they tassels and the silks what come out of here? I'm sure someone will put it in the comments and help me out. But yeah, sweet corn's looking pretty good. And like I say, hopefully all the beans and everything will grow up around the side. But generally, you've got to be careful that your beans don't outgrow your courgettes. I mean, your corn, sorry. So this bed here got some nasturtiums, snapdragons, sunflowers and my Atlantic giant pumpkins. And that pumpkin there is pretty big already. So that's almost the size of some of the pumpkins I had fully grown last couple of years ago. Only small varieties, like I think it was a Jack B. Littles or something like that. But yeah, that's a fairly decent size already. I'm happy about that. There's another little one sort of growing down through there, look, which is not as big, but I'm going to leave that one on anyway. I think these are giant sunflowers in the middle, and I've got teddy bears around the outside. So some of them may have been munched, but I don't think all of them have. Yeah, so I've got 3 giant Atlantic giant pumpkins in there. I've got this one here, which I'm going to leave on and let it develop. I've pulled off all the other little ones which were down here. And I do have to be careful about them growing through the paths, because I have trod on one actually and damaged it slightly. So yeah, that leaves us with the cauliflower bed and the cabbage bed. So we've got another cauliflower ready. Could perhaps leave that for another day or so. There's another one opening in there. But the greyhound cabbage, yeah, that's what I had in my stir fry, very nice. So I think they're almost ready. And as soon as I've got enough gaps in here, this is where the Brussels sprouts at home are going to go as well. I left that weed in there because it looked quite nice. So I've got some eryngium on the side here, the sea hollies, which are just starting to turn blue now. Quite nice colours really. So it's a bit like a thistle kind of thing. Can be a bit spiky. And I've got some echinacea, which I might have to dig some of these out and take them home, because the ones at home have been eaten by all the slugs and snails. It's a bit of a shame really. And so yeah, so that's just a little look around my plot. If you've got any questions or anything, please pop it in the comments. But yeah, like I say, I've had the plot now for 3.5 years. Been no dig for 3 years. Absolutely love no dig. Don't have to weed too much. Don't have to water too much. Well, compared to people who dig anyway. Although this year's been a challenge for everyone. But yeah, if you've got anything from the video, like I say, any questions or anything, then please pop it in the comments. Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down and consider subscribing. So thank you very much and goodbye.